Hello and welcome to Culture Corner here on the Serenity Resource Connector, brought to you in partnership with the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, JCDC for short. We do this every first Thursday here on the Serenity Resource Connector. I am Winsome, and it is always a pleasure to share a virtual space with you all, those who are tuning live or watching the replay, and our awesome guests that's joining us this evening. For those who are on, make sure you share the link so others can come on and hear the awesome things that these young people have been up to. We are focusing on celebrating youth excellence in the arts because November is being celebrated as National Youth Month, among a myriad of other things, Community Month, Local Government Month, and a number of different things happening in the space. And so we're going to be highlighting our youth who have been excelling in the arts. And joining me is young Mackenzie Sharp, winner of the L'Antoinette Stines Trophy for the most outstanding female performance. Welcome, Mackenzie. Go ahead and unmute.
Hi, thank you. Good night.
All right. We also have with us Andreen Cameron, Miss Jamaica Festival Queen 2023. Andreen, are you with us? And thank you. Welcome.
Hi, I'm here. Thank you.
Fantastic. Right. And to round this off, we have a king in our midst, and that's Fabian Wright, who is the second place winner for the Jamaica Gospel Star Competition. Fabian, welcome to Culture Corner.
Awesome to be here. It's a pleasure.
Fantastic. Awesome. All right. So we are going to be hearing from we're classifying them. We're talking about art, so we're going to just call them artists because they are all artists in their own right, focusing on different area. So before we go into the discussion, let's see what Andreen was up to for her performance piece at the finals. Let's take a look.
In the beginning, God created man and woman, and even more importantly, the Jamaican woman. She bore the burden of the nation on her back, no matter how heavy the burden she had to carry. She pushed on with her head held high, and though her feet are tattered, she is dignified. The Jamaican woman has built the nation with her blood and tears, and though her hands are scarred, she is recognized as but a shadow in history. Strong. I salute the Jamaican woman who has used her voice to heal a nation broken beyond despair. Women who understood that silence was never a woman's place. Dignified. The Jamaican woman has created a space for herself, pressed on without help, but only with the wealth of a voice determined to release the screams that have been repressed. Creative. Capable of turning the hair on her head to grains and her sorrows to melody and phrase. Jamaican woman, stand up. Why must we feel complete when we sit at the feet but never on the seat of power? May our voices be raised, or heads held straight, or backs relieved of pain, because we will revive. May our stories be retold, relinquished from the hold of the narrative of our foes, and behold, the Jamaican woman. Out of many one people, but all our voices long to be heard.
That was Miss Saint Catherine.
Now, Miss Jamaica Festival Queen 2023. Amazing piece there, Audrey. Fantastic. And I see Mackenzie just
Thank you.
welcome. Mackenzie's leaning in because from one dancer to another, I could see Mackenzie just tuned in, right, Mackenzie? Awesome. All right. So let's get
Yes.
awesome. So let's get the discussion going because all three of you would have entered three different JCDC competitions for 2023. So Mackenzie is the winner of the L'Antoinette Stines Trophy for best female performance. Tell us, Mackenzie, were there challenges that you experienced during the competition and how did you overcome them, if any?
Well, first, I had trouble maintaining the activities that I did at my school because I did a lot of activities. So first was track and field and dancing. I had problems maintaining track and field because I liked dancing more than track and field. So like I was having trouble doing track and field and dancing at the same time. But I realized that I like dancing more, so I decided to just put dancing first before track and field.
All right. So you had to make a choice and you determined that you're going to put dancing at the top of it. And it paid off, didn't it?
Yes,
All right.
it did.
Awesome. Right. So how did you feel? What are the highlights for you leading up to learning that you are the winner of this trophy? What were the highlights for you in the competition?
Well, I was feeling the first time I went on the stage for the parish finals, I was behind the wall and I was like very nervous because I thought that I wouldn't win, but then I just decided to let that go behind me as soon as I started dancing and I started feeling the music. And when I finally got the award, I was so happy because everybody was counting on me. I didn't really feel pressured because I know that I've gotten a lot of comments. So when I got the feedback on what the judges thought, it was a very exciting moment because they were saying that they loved how I communicated with the crowd and how I was smiling when I was supposed to be smiling and how I was sad when I was supposed to be sad. So that was just very nice for me.
Oh, so you embodied the whole performance, just like Audrey's show just now. You could feel almost every emotion coming through. Boy, you are masters at your craft. Just keep at it. Keep at it. But before we move over to Andre, Mackenzie, what's the significance of winning this trophy to you? Because your piece was a tribute to your father, God bless his soul, Michael Sharp. Share with us, what did this mean to you to win that trophy?
Well, I felt like this was the start of many more awards in this art. And a lot of my family members thought that this was amazing and how they are so proud of me. And to me, I feel like this is one of the most amazing moments that I could ever experience because I wanted to win more awards than just getting awards for academics, because I'm very smart and I'm maintaining in the top 3 in my class.
All right, fantastic. And you're going to get many more awards outside, both academic and otherwise. All right. You are smart, of course. Jamaican woman in the making. All right. So, from our youngest smart student to the next in line, Andreen Cameron, Miss Jamaica Festival Queen. Before we get to the academics part, let's talk about the competition.
Hello, I'm here.
Awesome. Any specific challenges that you experienced during the competition? And if yes, how did you overcome?
During the competition, it is, for those who don't know what the procedure is like, after you maybe have around a month in preparation for parish finals, and then after parish finals you have maybe a week or two depending on when your parish final is, and then you go off to nationals. And that's, we're usually stationed at a hotel. This year Pegasus was an amazing host, and so we were at Pegasus for 2 weeks, and it's back to back training. It was a lot. So you were going to courtesy calls, you were seeing all these people, you were communicating with ministers, you had to work on your talent piece, you had walk and poise training, you had all these training sessions, and you had to be retaining all this information because you need it in order to win and to be a queen and represent your parish regardless. And so you can imagine doing that for 2 weeks did get extremely exhausting. I was beyond exhausted. I was so tired. But there's a little quote for me, and it goes something like, whenever you feel as if you can't go any further, that is the second you need to push more, because your blessing is right behind that door. And so when I felt like I was at my lowest, like I couldn't go on any further, I just reminded myself that the blessing is right behind the door. Keep pushing, keep pushing. And so I really just committed, and that's how I was able to overcome that exhaustion and just being really tired.
And the blessing was indeed just behind the door,
It
right?
was.
Fantastic. So, that being said, how did you feel when you learned that you were the winner? What were the highlights for you? Because you would have received the award for the most involved in your community, the most
Yes.
culturally aware, and all those good stuff. How did it feel, the build up to the announcement?
It felt amazing, and there was actually moments before those two prizes were announced, because those were the last two prizes. So I was convinced that I didn't get anything. So I was there like, oh my gosh, what's happening? What's happening? And then to hear my name for those last two prizes back to back, I remember I was walking off the stage when one prize was called, and the master of ceremony had said, "Don't go too far because you're coming right back on stage." And I had to hand my trophy and walk back on stage. That felt phenomenal. And then to be called into the top five, the first person to be called into the top five, and then to be announced the winner, seeing it progress, I was just so anxious. It was just so much anxiety. And when I finally heard that I was the winner, I immediately burst into tears, because it was just such an awesome experience to see the fruit of what you've worked for, to see that, you did succeed, that it was in you, that you did have that capacity, that you overcame, you thought you could and you did. So that was an amazing feeling, and I was so grateful to God for allowing me to push myself and trust myself to get this far. And so it was just a phenomenal feeling. I was so shocked, and it took me a while to truly believe that it happened. It was great.
Oh, fantastic. Amazing. All right, Fabian, you
Yes,
would have,
ma'am.
yes, you would have entered the former version of the competition, and now this time around the Jamaica Gospel Star. I think you were just waiting on the star part, to just be the star that you are, right? Second place winner. Any challenges that you experienced going leading up to, and how did you overcome?
Well, the challenges were, um, first of all, I'm from Mandeville. That was the first challenge
Mm,
because now I have to go to Kingston every 3 days for the week, every
mhm.
week. We're talking about the exhaustion of. I usually drive up. Thank God for my Macintosh family. The principal normally would allow me to have a vehicle so I could use it to travel up each time I had to go up for, especially for rehearsals. I would take the vehicle, go up for rehearsal, and I come back down in time to give the vehicle back to her and go back home. But that was one of the biggest challenge. Um, but then on the nights of performance, like on a Sunday evening when we're supposed to um come and then get dressed for presentation, and then you had a little window on the nights when you had to do two songs to
Oh,
go in, change, and get back inside because you don't know how close you are to performing again. And this thing was live every night. We went back. It was live, and so it was a tipula. If you want a better term, to be doing that every week, and then the interviews. Well, you just didn't know when they were gonna call you for a particular interview, and then they pounce upon you. So suddenly, sometimes you're like, okay, I have to put my words together now. Yeah, but overall, it was a very exciting experience. Um, yeah, and those are my challenges.
yes. And it paid off, right? So,
Very much
what
so. Very
were
much so.
what were their highlights? And we're going to see Fabian's performance later on, but we're going to save that for later. All right. So, what were the highlights for you, though, especially on that big night when the announcements were being made?
Um, eh, let's just say I carried my A game every night. I didn't leave anything to chance. As much as I knew that my team behind me was quite huge, I still made sure that I was on the road every time campaigning. So I went on that night with a level of expectancy. Maybe not for first place, um, or second place really, but just to be in the top three, right? So I came with a level of expectancy. I will not lie, right? But why it was nerve wracking? It was nerve wracking. I mean, you're not sure because you're not, you want to say hint, hint, that's the winner? Nothing like that. You cannot tell just who the winner will be, and so would have been, and so it was yeah, on toes all night, and it is like it's 1 hour. It was 1 hour. No, it was not 1 hour. Well, the time span was a bit more lengthy than usual because it was the final night. But either way, it just felt like it was just a breeze when the time went because we were not. I was so shocked to recognize that hello, we're at the co-
Final night.
the hell no, where they're calling the names. Like what? Yeah, it was a moment and a half. I can't express the feeling behind that feeling. Yes.
We can feel it. It left you speechless.
It does.
Amazing.
It did.
Awesome. All right. Chrysalie B is saying that she's here. Welcome, Chrysalie. And Shax Entertainment is saying big up, and that looks like is for Fabian. It recognized Shax Entertainment. You better,
Shucks
you know,
entertainment.
Shax Entertainment. Anyways, they're bigging you
I
up
don't
for the
want to say. I don't want to say no.
and
I don't
receive
want to
it.
say no because I get myself in
Yeah.
trouble. I receive it in Jesus' name.
Amen. All right. So we are in Community Month. So let's talk about some community impact. Andrine, going back to Andrine. Andrine, last month,
Yeah.
yes, during was Heritage Month, and Andrine received the key to Spanish Town, right, Andrine? The key to
Yes, that's right.
Spanish Town. And not only that, she is also valedictorian for, finish it up for me, I don't want to get it wrong.
The faculties of law and social sciences.
Listen to me. She was just sharing how intense it was in terms of the preparation leading up to the finals. But in all of that, she was still excelling at school. She's gonna have to share with you or the viewers how she was able to do it, because I'm sure a lot of us would. Right, Mackenzie, you can take a few notes on that to see how we can actually balance it all.
Yes.
Right. So Mackenzie and others, including myself, are tuning in for that. But tell us about your impact in the community, school, as well as, I mean, because if you got the key to Spanish Town and you're voted the most active in your community, give us a synopsis of all of that.
All right, sure. So I am very passionate about outreach, giving back to my community, and nation building. And so my entire life, from as young as I can remember, even when I was in prep school, I was just always an extremely involved person. And that's because I believe that life is about the impact that you can make. Life is about what you can do, what you can contribute to society. And so I use my efforts to ensure that as much as I'm able to take from life, I am giving back as well. And so this is something that has been recognized at the national level, particularly with Saint Catherine being recognized or being a recipient rather of the key to Spanish Town, which is amazing because it acknowledges that I have been a team player. I've been someone who has been committed to doing a lot or what I can for my country and my parish. So I've always been doing outreach. So, for instance, I used to teach persons around me in my community, help them with schoolwork. I also volunteered at Ensom City Primary School, and I was helping to tutor, helping with administrative tasks as well. And generally in the wider community, I am involved in female-based nonprofit organizations, for instance, Uplift Her, Sisterhood Jamaica, and Woman Up Jamaica, and even the school level, which is something that led to me being selected as valedictorian. I hold several leadership positions. Second vice president of the Mona Law Society. I was the director of research and response on the UE Mona Guild. I was also the vice president for the external affairs committee. So all of those roles had to do a lot with giving back. I spent a lot of days teaching students at the faculty of law in some of the areas that person struggled with. I spent a lot of time going to homes, going to schools to help to tutor. So I just truly believe that life is about giving back. And so I ensure that I make time to be able to contribute in the best way that I can to developing others as well.
Wow, a lot going on there.
A lot.
Yes, but it's yeah, and it seemed to come very natural because
It
that
does.
sounds like
It
a
really
calling.
does.
Sounds like a calling more than
I
just
think it
doing
is.
something.
I actually dream of having my own non-profit in the future. So I'm hoping that it will come true, but it's definitely a calling.
All
Definitely.
right. You are on track to getting that done. All right. Let you have a breather because you're going to share with us in terms of your project. Because in all of that you're doing, you have a national project to execute, and we want to
Yes.
hear all about that. But let's hear from Mackenzie. We seem to have lost Fabian. I hope you'll be back to share with us. Mackenzie, he's coming back on. So, Mackenzie, what have you been up to in your community in terms of involvement?
Well, mostly other than school, I've been participating in church. So like I can sing, so I'm a part of the children's ministry at church, and I also love when it's the children's time to like lead the church. I always participate in praise and worship because I feel like that is the best part about church, because those are really some upbeat songs, and it's all about praising God and giving thanks to what He's done for you. Um, and also, when we're doing the children's ministry for singing, I always get the lead part, because I guess they think that I can sing good. I also believe that I can sing good. Um, and also, well, mostly that's at church. That's the thing that I participate most in at church, because I don't really have a lot of things to do outside of school and church.
Okay, awesome. I love what you said. You say they think that you can sing good, but you also believe that you can sing good. And that's the best part of it, because once you believe it, it's important that you believe it. I love that, Mackenzie.
Thank you.
Hooray for you. Virtual high five. All right, Fabian is back with us. Fabian, all right, what have you been up to in your community?
So that you mean since the competition,
Yes.
right? I have been, mostly working on new songs related to, ministering the gospel, which is my main work. Um, I am a teacher, so therefore I'm impacting young lives on a daily basis. Right? I am all about, you know, training the younger generation as to how to, become musically sensible, musically aware. Trying to allow them to understand that the reason why I am where I'm at is because I had an early exposure to music, and so I use that to, motivate the youngsters around me. I have persons who I would, sit with and just encourage them to do well. And it's not just a matter of, well, where I live personally. I don't have a general, you know ailment of connecting with persons because this community is quite enclosed. But when it comes on, I live close to Mandeville, and so my impact happens when I get into the town of Mandeville. And I'm also very active in my church. You know, just recently we had a to a worship session where we had to where we were where our interest was to, impact lives, you know, using music. And so that's what I'm really doing concerning community efforts at this time.
Amazing. And there's power in music. Mackenzie says she loves the praise and worship. I think is the best part. Mackenzie, I'm with you there, because if you go to church and you miss the praise and worship, it seems as if you didn't go to church, right?
You missed everything.
Right, because it's just the lead up into getting to the message. So you need that part to get you pumped up. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, so we're going to hear from Andreen now about her project. What are you working on, Andreen? What's the focus?
All right. So my project is, I hate to say again, I still haven't figured out the name. I'm so sorry, Jamaica. But my project is focused on self-defense, particularly teach the or younger girls how to defend themselves. And I believe that this is extremely important in light of the rise of the violence that we're seeing against our young girls in society, the rates of kidnapping, the sexual abuse that they're facing. I believe that this was just a step that I needed to take so that it can be shown that something is being done and that something needs to be done. And hopefully, this project will allow for greater steps to be taken by Jamaica on a whole towards reducing this problem or removing it completely. And so it's geared towards teaching young girls how to fight back, how to defend themselves, how to get out of dangerous situations, how to know if they're in dangerous situations, and teaching them basic self-defense skills, so basic fighting skills. So yes, it will be theoretical but also practical. So workshops that will teach them how to fight, the best techniques and the best strategies. I will not be the trainer, but I am working with a team of, well, I'm working with someone who is very versed in this area. And so the aim is to ensure that our young girls feel even a little bit safer on a day-to-day basis.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Thank you.
That's very you're welcome. Very important, because I understand that self-defense is much more than just the fighting part of it. It actually helps to
Indeed.
develop a sense of confidence, and in terms
Yes.
of mental clarity and toughness. So it's much more than just you're able to fight, but it's heightens your sense of awareness, so you can be able to sense danger around you. So that's awesome. Looking forward to hearing
Thank
the
you.
success story on that one. Awesome. Any particular
Yes, thank you.
group that you plan on working with?
Yes, so I'm working on girls within the primary prep school level. So I'm focusing on that area, and depending on the resources, I will possibly be extending into that high school arena. But the goal
Okay.
is primary prep school, that age group.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. So here is an
Thank you.
appeal for, so when Andreen reaches out to get the support that she needs to get this going.
Please.
Yes.
Yes.
Fantastic. All right. So Fabian is a little bit past the school age, but in terms of a student, he's at school almost every day, but he's on the teaching side. Right. But I'm sure you would have had to do some balancing in terms of preparing for the competition and executing his duties as an educator. So, how did you manage both during that time?
Now, the beautiful thing about it is that the competition happened right upon the time when school was about to close.
Ah,
And so I really didn't have much adjustment to be made because it was adjusted for me. Right. Well, we're on when the initial stage of the competition, as I said, I have a very a very strong team, especially at McIntosh Memorial Primary School. I must speak about them. Um, when the competition actually started, um, everybody was with me. My principal just jumped on board, and she allowed me to when it was the time for even the workshop. And what she's saying to me, no man, go, right? Persons have to cover for me at certain points, and that's the initial stage. And so yes, I had the teamwork at school helped to help me very much in terms of allowing me to maneuver. Uh, what happened just now?
We're hearing you.
Oh, you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, sir. Seeing you as well. Go ahead.
My screen just went blank. I don't know what happened.
All right. Go ahead and share. We're seeing and
Oh,
hearing you.
all right. So yes. So that aspect of things really played out based on the team of persons that were behind me um, at the very apex of the competition. I really got the backup, and so it helped me even when I knew when I was supposed to be at school. Um, I went to school early, got all that I needed to do done, and my principal said, "Okay, head out." And she gave me her vehicle because I'm
Wow.
not mobile. So she gave me her vehicle and she said, "Go." At one point, her vehicle was not available, and the VP chipped in and gave me her vehicle. And I was at
Oh,
workshop, at rehearsals, ready to go on time every day. So yeah, that's why I juggle it.
amazing. Awesome. All right. Something seemed to have gone wrong with your video. You're now turned sideways, so you can work on that while we hear from Mackenzie. Are you still with us? We want to hear from Mackenzie. All right. Go ahead and share, Mackenzie. How were you able to manage your schoolwork and preparing for the competition?
Well, I had like some days I wouldn't go to dancing, and then I would just study for that day, for the rest of the day. And when I finished dance practice and extra lessons, I would just study in the evening up until it's time to get ready for bed. And in grade 5 at Portmore Missionary, I used to, after school, I used to go to this lady. She would help me get ready for PEP. And then that would be the time that I would just practice for school and my studies. For homework, since my grandma lives right next to the lady, so I would just go over to her and do my homework. And if I don't get to finish my homework that day, I would just do it in the morning when I get to school.
All right, fantastic. Those were some practical tips right there, Mackenzie. Thank you so much for that. All right, Andrine, how did you manage school and the competition, especially with the intense schedule?
It was definitely difficult. I remember that the time of the deadline, it was about it was in the middle of exams. So I was actually doing more courses than normal in my final semester at the University of the West Indies. And so I was already under a lot of pressure academically, and the pageant then for the parish level was right in the middle of that. So I remember I had to communicate and say to the parish manager some days that I wouldn't be able to make this session. I have an exam tomorrow. I need to study for the exam. I need the time. I remember I was even writing a thesis for my supervised independent research paper, and I had to be juggling rehearsals and writing. So when another person was working on their talent piece with a trainer, for instance, I would be there on my laptop typing away, or I would be in some corner working something out. So it was really just about time management, and it will always come down to time management. You have to be very disciplined in understanding that you have different goals, and each of those goals will require attention. And so you have to be aware of when you are not giving enough attention to a particular goal. And so for me, in moments where I felt like I wasn't giving enough attention to my academics, and I know I had high expectations for myself academically, I had to take a step back, as Mackenzie had stated. Sometimes you have to put other things aside, or put them down for a little bit, so that you can commit to something else. And so I had to at times say, all right, I can't come to this rehearsal today, or I had to step aside while something was being done and I saw this area that I could work on something for myself and get that done. So it really is just time management and being very disciplined with your time.
Wow, I love that, because notice I said in terms of manage, because it's more about managing than balancing. Because as Mackenzie
Yes.
said, there are times when you have to lay aside some things, maybe not
Mm-hmm.
forever, but you have to just lay something aside. So you have to do an assessment as to, all right, what is most important to me at this point in time, and just deal with it
Exactly.
accordingly. And I like the practical tips that you shared as well, Andrine, because I was the chair for the Festival Queen committee for about 2 years in Clarendon. And I know some of the challenges, especially with those who had to travel back and forth because they're studying in Kingston and they're traversing and all of that. So that's really practical in terms of how they can manage that, because yes, you can get it done. You don't have to do one or choose one over the other. As
You
you
do.
said, while the others are working on their pieces, then you can be doing your schoolwork at the same time. So it's about prioritizing and how you
Exactly.
manage the time in the different spaces. Because I'm sure while you're at home or at dorm, wherever you stay for school, you're doing rehearsing your piece when you're not doing your schoolwork, right?
Exactly.
Is that right?
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
So okay,
Definitely.
seem to be having the juggle. Yes. So it's how you are able to juggle both of them. All right, fantastic. I trust you all are taking notes. Some practical tips and advice being given. Mackenzie, I tell you, is only 11 years old, but she doesn't sound like 11, does she? No, she sounds no, she doesn't sound like 11. She seemed to be quite self-aware. Huh? Mackenzie, great things are in store for you. Great things are in store for you. Just
Thank you.
continue. Welcome. Keep on the same path. All right. And so we are going to be rounding out. But before we round out, let's take a little break and listen to Fabian. And then we're going to round out with our guests sharing some words of encouragement as we wrap. So let's take some entertainment at this time.
Though they slay me, yet will I trust them. Whoa, yeah, Jamaica, you're feeling. You can take away my home, take away my God, but you can never take cannot take my
Hear me out. Whoa, you can take away my home. Come on, my God. Hey, you can never take my faith in the Lord. You can take away my life, but you cannot take my Lord. Talk to me.
He's all I ever need. Nothing else will do. He's more than life to me. He's lover of my life. Unto him I give my praise. There is no one like my Lord.
I know that you can take away my home. Come on,
Take away my God.
you can never take my faith in the Lord.
No, you
You can take away my life, whatever it may be, but you cannot take my Lord. Hear me out. Talk to me.
Take away my home. Take away my time. But you can never take my faith in the Lord. You can take away my life, whatever it may be, but you cannot take my Lord. Hey! Hey!
Cause when we hit the man,
Yo!
we don't see a believe in a God.
Hey, oh, hey, Shai!
You need to the God. We don't cause when we hit the man, if you don't see a believe in a God, sing.
You can dance, yes you can. Get up on your feet, stand up,
And if we don't stand, then we dance. And if we don't stand, then we dance. You can when you feel the spirit to burst. Dance and every dance, dance and every dance. Wow! Teach them some dance move.
Let's go.
1, 2.
Follow the cross, 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 follow the cross.
No one let it go down to the end. Whip the devil, 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 make him a go, but never run, 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 never run. Yes, yes. Under the blood, 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 under the blood.
Come on, under the blood. Yeah.
All right, so we have a group of dancers in the space. Maybe and this were some real energy moves. All right, Honor the Cross. Our fantastic performance, awesome performance. It's a pity we could not see Mackenzie's performance, but we'll pick it up somewhere. Fantastic, and an awesome piece there. Amazing. All right, so this has been so fantastic. Love the sharing and the practical tips that you shared. Fabian spoke a lot about the power and the value of having that supportive community. Oh my goodness. Andreen, her passion for just outreach, giving back. I pray the Lord will continue to bless and keep you as you continue to give. All right. So freely you give, freely you receive. You got the key to Spanish Town. And a lot more shall come your way, right? Amen. All right. And Mackenzie, oh Lord, full of wisdom at just 11 years old. So proud of you, Mackenzie. Being able to assess where you're at and determine what you need to lay aside so that you can move forward. And it paid off and it will continue to pay off. And so confident in your skin. I love that. And I trust that the other young people around are able to see and recognize that you can make sensible choices in moving forward and just do what it is that you are passionate about. Mackenzie shared with me that she used to dance in prep school. It was. Then she had put it
still
on
in prep school, but in
Right.
kindergarten.
Right? And then she took it up back years after in grade 5. Can you imagine, Mackenzie? I just imagine how proud mommy is of you and the rest of the family members.
Very proud.
Kudos, yes, kudos, mommy and grandma and the rest of the family. Awesome job that you're doing with Mackenzie. Continue on the same trajectory. And so, Fabian, what's your word of encouragement to those who are looking to get into the realm of gospel music? because that's this space that you're operating in terms of ministry, and the JCDC competition as a platform for that. You can share.
All right. My encouragement to persons is don't give up on what it is that you're dreaming of. I mean, I've been a dreamer all my life, and I also knew that at one point my dream was going to become a reality. Um, be careful of the people you will have in your surrounding. Make sure those persons are people who understand where you're going and are willing to take the risk of going with you. Right? I must, pay special recognition to my family, especially my wife, who was with me every week. There was no time when I looked around and she was missing. She was present. Apart from my family at work, she was the family at home and with my children. They were always present. And I'm saying to you, whenever it is that you're deciding to go forward, to take on your goal, whatever it is, whether it be singing or anything, go ahead, go with it, but make sure the team of people around you. Choose the team of people in your circle wisely because they can be a detriment to what you're really aiming for. Don't keep negative energy around you. Keep positive energy around you. And success is inevitable once those things are in place. Once you also keep a positive mindset, or the challenges won't even make sense because of how you're positioned. Position yourself for success, and success will come. God bless you.
Amen. Oh, great advice. Audrey.
All right, I have two things that I want to state. So the first is coming from the story that I had shared earlier, and the quotes that helped me to push through this journey is: the second that you feel as though you cannot continue, push even harder, because it means that your blessing is right behind that door. So in those moments and those circumstances where you feel so overwhelmed, like there is no way that you're going to see this through, where everything feels impossible, it's in those moments that you have to push even a little bit harder, because it means that you are so close to your blessing. And so you really just have to push and get yourself past that point, over that obstacle, and you will be so happy with your success. And the second thing that I want to say is that the second that you check out psychologically is the second that you have lost. In other words, the minute that you start to doubt yourself, you have lost. And you cannot position yourself for success if you do not believe that you can be successful. And so throughout the competition, I had to remind myself at every point in the journey that I can do this. I can take that crown home. And I told myself, I'm taking that crown home. If I came saying, yeah, it's just there for the experience, whatever happens, happens, I don't think I could have won. And so I believe that it's important that whoever, whatever you're going after, whoever is listening to this, I need you to understand that you can never doubt yourself, because if you doubt yourself, you can never see success. So always stay positive and keep going.
Fantastic. Mackenzie.
Well, all I want to say is that when you have a goal, you should do your best to fulfill it, because that opportunity may never come back to you. And one day you might not even get selected for the team that you're going to try out for. And the next day you get an award for being the best female or male soloist or like group team. You get an award for that. And also, don't listen to what anyone tells you, because some of those things that they're telling you are going to be the downfall of your life. and you may never want to try out for that thing that you have passion for the most. So just don't listen to those people, and don't keep friends that will try and tear you down, and only keep people that will support you throughout life and wherever you go.
Such wisdom, Mackenzie. Such wisdom. So they it's been reverberating the importance of surrounding yourself with positive influences. That's it. Because once you have that, the persistence, as Andre mentioned, as well as position yourself for success, and a part of that depends also on your belief in yourself, the people that are around you who can make or break you. And I'm glad that Mackenzie at her age has recognized that
Yes.
importance of right pursuing your goal and making it about, which is why I was so celebrating when you said that. Yes, they said they think you are a good singer, but you believe, I believe
That's
that you're a good
right.
singer, right? I love that, and that is very important because it doesn't matter, yeah, what others call you, what others say about you. It's what you start believing about yourself that will make or break you. So we want to celebrate you all as individuals, as Jamaicans, as youth, because Fabian, we're still classifying you as a youth, right? In this youth month, we want to applaud you and to encourage you to continue to pursue the arts because there's power in that, real power in the arts for you as individuals, and in terms of the impact
Mhm.
that you're able to create in your space, and even with among people you might never ever meet in your lifetime. Fantastic. All right, let's recognize some of our live viewers. Ava, always a pleasure to have you here with us. Awesome. We have Crystal Lee said that you all sound great. We have Shaq's Entertainment. Take that big step with confidence and keep positive no matter what. That's right. All right. Emily is saying, well said, Mackenzie. And
That's
we
my
have,
grandma. That's my grandma.
oh, that's Grandma. Hi, Grandma. Indeed. All right. And I hope I don't butcher this name. Is this Shasil Harrison? Yes, a solid support system is so important, but you are your biggest supporter.
And that's a
Indeed.
supporter of mine right there.
Look at that. Fantastic. Super proud of you all. And I just want to thank you again for sharing your journey with us here on Culture Corner. Always a pleasure to hear the awesome stories and not just the highlights, but to share that there were challenges. This is how I dealt with it. And these are some practical tips that you can use also to get beyond that, not just in a competition, but life itself. Because Mackenzie was just dishing out some gems about life in general. All right. So let me thank you and thank our viewers, those who were able to join us live and those who will be watching the replay. Thank you so much for tuning in. And let me welcome you to the Serenity Resource Connector community as you subscribe and share the link so others will be inspired by the awesome wisdom and gems that were shared in this space here on Culture Corner. We go live here in the Serenity Resource Connector space each Thursday at 8 p.m. You want to come back next Thursday for our community safety and security uh, focus, where we'll be sharing a lot on community safety security in Area 3, in particular, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Fabian's parish, among the mix. And the the highlights for the different activities will be coming up, but we go live 8 p.m. in the space each Thursday. Culture Corner's first Thursday, and we have other activities for the other Thursdays. So go ahead and subscribe, share the link, and check out the other episodes that went on before, and you'll be sure to be informed and inspired. Thank you again for sharing space with us here, and you all have an amazing night and continue to stay.